So when I first came across Kenda, I saw her website and I read about her dealing with eczema over, I think, 20 years or so. Is that right, Kenda?
Um, a little bit less than that, but it's been a long time. It was since I was 8 or 9 years old, actually.
Ah,
And
right.
I'm 44.
Wow. And you started since 8 or 9 years old with food and everything.
Yeah.
Were you looking at that? Was
Oh
your mom
gosh.
looking at
No. Oh, terrible diet when I was that age.
that?
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, cheese whiz on toast and Fruit Loops. That was my breakfast most times. I don't know if you've heard of either of those,
Yes,
but
yes, yes.
such terrible food.
We have Fruit Loops
Yeah.
over here. Yes, definitely. I've seen them. The
Yeah.
colorings.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes.
Dyes and yeah. Oh, terrible.
Yes. So I told myself I need to reach out to Kenda because Kenda talks a lot about food, and through her own experience, I I know very little about food and I love food and I know food has such a big role in our health. I just do not know where and when. So I talked to her and here she is. Kenda, tell us about how you got to be where you are today with eczema and food and what you've learned along the way.
Well, so like I said, it started for me when I was about 8 or 9 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to see a dermatologist, and they didn't really know what to do with me, so they prescribed some creams, and so, I didn't take creams for too long, but I took them for a while, and but one thing about my eczema then, oh, by the way, I might accidentally call it eczema.
Oh no,
And this is,
no, that's fine. I call it eczema.
do you?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I have always called it eczema, which is funny because most people pronounce it eczema, which is, I don't, I guess that's the proper way to pronounce it. I'm not really sure, but
I'm not sure.
um, so yeah. So anyway, you might hear me call it eczema because it was just an old habit, and
Hmm.
old habits die hard. So
Hmm.
I just wanted to mention that just in case.
We're on the same page.
Okay, great. Um, but anyway, I had eczema
Hmm.
since I was very young, and I had it. It was just mild, but I had it all over my body, really in patches. So it didn't really bother me too much. It was just kind of there, and it was worse in the winter time, and so I didn't worry about it too much. But when I had my first child, which was just over 10 years ago, I started to develop very severe hand eczema. So, especially on my right hand. And this is when it became a really big problem
Right.
because it was, I would just have sores and cuts on my hands and it was just extremely itchy. It would even wake me up in the middle of the night and I would be scratching. So that's when I just decided I am not dealing with this for the rest of my life. I've got to fix this. And so I started to do a lot of research. I started to get into natural remedies
Mm-hmm.
after my son was born. And I started to research foods and I just did so much research. And also, I just started trying things and I started looking for different kinds of foods that could help with eczema. Right. So that's kind of how I got
Mm-hmm.
started with all of this.
But when you
So,
were, sorry, between the age of 8 to
okay.
9 years old till when you gave birth, did you have like episodes in between, or it was full blown after you gave birth?
Um, I'm not exactly sure of the timing, but when you have a baby, your body changes so
So
much.
much.
Yeah, you have kids.
Yeah, yeah, I
You
have
have
one
kids.
son, and my body
Yeah.
has, yes, no, so
Oh,
much.
yes, exactly. So much changes,
Yes,
right? It
yes,
just it's
yes.
your body is not your body anymore. So,
Yes, yes.
um,
And you kind of accept that this is the new you, and yes,
yes, exactly. Yeah.
yes.
So I don't know exactly when it happened, but it was just around that time. It might have even been when I was pregnant that it started. But um, we actually moved to this house we are in now. We moved to this house at the same time, and um, I feel like it was more in this house when it started to get really bad on my hand, and
Mm.
which makes sense because, well, one of the reasons is I have copper pipes in this house.
Okay.
And I didn't have copper pipes in the last house. Now this is going down a rabbit hole here, but excuse me. Um, there's a lot to eczema, and there's one thing in particular that causes you to begin to have eczema, but there's a lot of steps that also lead to eczema in addition to that. And food is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I can get into all that if you like. I have to take a drink here first though.
No, go ahead. But I'm just so curious with copper pipes now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just a little bit about that, because I know environment plays such a big role. A lot of us may not feel so, but environment does play such a big role. You're in this place and you are interacting with your environment all the time, and which is why in aromatherapy we do green cleaning as well, because
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So tell us about the copper pipes.
Yeah. So I'll have to go back a little bit before that in order for this to all to make sense, as well as with what I'm going to tell you about food. It's going to make more sense as well then too. So eczema starts with a virus, and it starts with a virus called the Epstein-Barr virus. Have you heard of that?
Yes.
You have.
The EBV,
yeah,
yes.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. So there are actually a lot of, in fact, most health conditions start with this virus or bacteria, and we won't get into that, but so eczema starts with this virus. And then what happens is this virus feeds on two things. It feeds on certain foods, and which I'll tell you about, and it feeds on heavy metals, but especially copper.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why it made such perfect sense to me when I discovered this, that oh my gosh, I have copper pipes in this house. And that's not the only way that you can get copper into your body. There are many ways, but the other way that copper can get into your body is through pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides. So yeah, that's why it's so important to eat organic, non-GMO foods when you can, and also, and toxins affect that too. Toxins in beauty products, and it all ties together. So yes, it's absolutely,
it adds
green
up,
cleaning. Pardon?
It adds up altogether.
Yes, it adds up, absolutely. So yeah, it's kind of there's a lot to it. But yeah, so it starts with the virus, and heavy metals feed, like I said, mostly copper. But
so you think you got the virus prior to you giving birth, or after that?
Probably, but the virus. So this is a crazy stat. The virus affects 90% of the population before age 20.
No.
Yes, that is crazy, isn't it?
Wait, 90%?
90%.
Wow.
Yes.
That's like 9 out of 10 of us.
I know. It's just insane. So most people have this virus. Sorry, were you going to ask a question?
No, I was just, 9 out of 10, it's a lot. Yeah.
It is a lot. It's just crazy. So most people have this virus, and some people will develop eczema, and some people will develop something else. So, but yeah, it starts with the virus, and it feeds on copper mostly. With other skin conditions, it can feed on different heavy metals such as copper or mercury, and perhaps others as well. And then it feeds on foods as well, and it has favorite foods. The Epstein-Barr virus has favorite foods. And so I can get into that now if you like.
No, please do. No, I'm just thinking of, because some of the viral infections or bacterial infections, the symptoms can be so vague unless you get tested, right? It can be fatigue, headache, skin issues, like you mentioned, like even mycoplasma is one of them, like it affects your lungs, but a lot of times you're just fatigued unless you get it tested specifically for that infection, which I heard that a lot of people have mycoplasma as well. So I'm thinking that it lives very peacefully with your body until there is something that's out of balance, like say too much mercury, too much copper, there's a lot of stress going on inside, and then it comes out in different ways.
Yes, absolutely.
And for you, it's probably, it's so stressful after giving birth and all that,
Yeah, absolutely. Um, with with stress. So one of the things that also happens when you have a chronic health condition, and this is with most of them, if not all of them, is your stomach acid, your hydrochloric acid, it is
Mm-hmm.
called, in your stomach gets depleted. And when that happens, that can cause a whole range of issues. But one of the things that causes a depletion in stomach acid is stress. And
Mm.
and mostly, like, it can be, well, really it's adrenaline, but that happens with stress as well. So people think of adrenaline as a good thing, go bungee jumping and you get adrenaline, right? And no bungee jumping for me either, but
No, 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 it's too much. It's too much. No skydiving and bungee jumping. Oh
oh
gosh.
gosh, no, I would never.
For
I
some reason
wish
I
I
was, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you wish you could, right? Like I
Yes,
wish I could
yes,
too. Like
yes.
sit on a plane and jump down. I can't. I'm just
I
like
I, I know, I think it would be great and horrible at the same time.
oh gosh. I don't think I can even make the jump, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I couldn't either.
Yes,
Somebody
yes.
would have to push me out of the plane.
Yeah, and nobody will push you, right? Because if something happens to you, it'd
Right,
be on
yeah.
them. Oh gosh. Yeah, but no, that's another level of the only time adrenaline is good is when I'm running away from a bear or a lion, Other than that,
Right.
not too much.
Yeah. So adrenaline can happen in all kinds of ways. It can come with a lot of negative feelings. So, hatred and anxiousness and all those kinds of feelings that can come with that.
Mm-hmm.
But also you can get it through, the bungee jumping and things like that we were talking about. But either way, it's still, even if it's a good thing, it still depletes your stomach acid.
Yes, yes,
Um,
yes.
yeah. So, and when you have low stomach acid, you can't properly digest, the foods in your stomach.
Mm-hmm.
And that can cause other problems such as, well, leaky gut is what people hear about. It's actually not quite, leaky gut is not really what people think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's actually when food, people think it's tears in your intestines and then particles get out into your bloodstream.
Because it's called
And
leaky gut. Okay. Yeah.
exactly,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Yeah, and then you have food intolerances and all that kind of thing. But that's not actually what it is. What actually happens is your stomach, to put it, I'm going to make this a short story basically,
Mm-hmm.
but what actually happens is the food in your stomach doesn't get digested properly because of the low stomach acid, and then it reaches your intestines, and because your stomach acid didn't do its job,
Mm-hmm.
the food rots there. It stays there and rots.
Oh, oh.
And that's what this is. And this, yeah, I know, that's disgusting, isn't it?
No, I'm thinking of like plumbing and it got stuck somewhere and
Yeah,
then it
yeah,
causes a lot of clog. Oh,
yes, exactly. Right.
that's leaky gut. Okay. Should
Yeah,
not be called leaky gut. It should be called something else.
it's actually it's actually called ammonia permeability is a better name for it, is
Okay.
the real name for it. But um, and yeah, and then it causes gas and all kinds of other issues. But yeah, so that's the problem with stress and stomach acid.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel like what we're talking here, as much as we want to categorize it as food, anxiety, eczema, but it's so interrelated at the same time, right?
Yes. Oh yes, for
Yes,
sure. It
yes.
is
And
definitely.
yeah, and I think we are categorizing it so that our brains can understand it better, and that's what our brains like to do. We like to categorize, but at the same time, I just want the people listening in to know that it's very, very interrelated. It's never really standalone. And I
No,
think
definitely not.
yes, when I hear you talk about it, it really pieces together, that it's highly interrelated.
It
So
is for
yes,
sure.
you were talking about the favorite foods for the virus.
Right. So I wanted to just say, in light of what you just said, that with the Epstein-Barr virus, it goes through 4 stages. And the first stage is it lies dormant in your body. And then the second stage, you can get mono, because the Epstein-Barr virus is what causes mono.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, you'll go to your doctor and your doctor will say, oh, you have mono. And
Mm-hmm.
you say, oh, okay. You know, so you take whatever medicine they give you and you rest and you get better.
Mm-hmm.
But then in the third and fourth stages, it gets into your organs. And there's no testing for it because it's in your organs and it's not in your bloodstream.
Right.
So yeah, and then, so as I said, it lays dormant, but to your point, once you start introducing other things that feed the virus, that's when it starts to become a problem. So now those foods, so there are 3 foods in particular. There are more than that, but there are 3 main foods that feed the virus. And the first one is eggs. And I was disappointed to hear this.
No.
Because
no, how can it be eggs? Okay.
I was just going to say, eggs is the number 1 food to feed the Epstein-Barr virus. So, yeah.
There's got to be like, if you eat 1 egg is fine. If you eat like 3 eggs is not fine. Is that kind of thing?
Well, in order to kill off the virus, you need to avoid these foods completely, really. But that's in an ideal world. I don't even do that.
All right.
Yeah, so because it's so difficult. There's so many things that you need to eliminate from your diet, and you have to try to be careful that you don't get too many toxins into your body, and there's just so many things. It's very overwhelming, and I know that. I understand that. So yes, in an ideal world, you want to remove them completely, and not forever though. You would need to just remove them for 90 days.
Oh.
But yeah, so it's doable for some people, but it is still a long time. Yes, exactly. So I just tell people to start making small changes. So to be aware of these things and just start to make changes. So for example, you can bake without eggs. There are many ingredients that you can use in baking, and you don't need to use eggs. So that's just an example, right? So just and start to be aware of it, start to have less eggs. So absolutely, it's going to make a difference. If you eat 3 eggs a day and then you go down to having 1, that's even going to make a difference. Absolutely. So I just tell people to do what you can, for sure. Yeah. So the second food that you want to avoid is gluten. And yeah, so
oh yes, of course then again, it's everywhere, right?
It is everywhere, absolutely. But the one good thing is that there are so many great gluten-free options now, and they're tasty.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
So that's the good thing about it. The other kind of unfortunate thing about it is that a lot of gluten-free foods are made with corn, and corn is another thing that feeds the Epstein-Barr virus. But yeah, but it's not one of the main foods. So if you have, you buy gluten-free foods and it has some corn in it, well, so be it. You do what you can, like I said.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So,
wow.
So that's the number 2 food. The number 3 food is a big one as well, and that is dairy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no, we should only be eating vegetables and meat then?
Yeah. See, this is where it's so complicated and it's just so overwhelming, because after all of this, one of the problems is that all of this can be such, like all these foods and toxins and heavy metals and the virus can be such a burden on your liver. And unfortunately, the other thing that's a burden on your liver, or one of the other things, is fat, and even healthy fats, unfortunately. So it's just impossible to avoid. If you were, the only way to be safe is to eat fruits and vegetables, and that's it, nothing else, right? But even vegans aren't safe, because you don't want to eat too much protein, can be hard on the liver either. And a lot of vegans eat a lot of legumes, right? So, my best advice is to try to remove those things from your diet as much as possible, but to be sensible about it, and just try to eat those, whatever you eat it in moderation. Don't eat
Mm-hmm.
too much of any food except fruits and vegetables, you know. So
Yes, yes.
you can have as many
In
fruits as
moderation.
vegetables as you like.
Definitely, definitely. But then then we are also looking for organic fruits and vegetables as well, right? At the same time.
Yes, absolutely, if you can,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not always possible either. But I would say it's better at least to get the fruits and I've heard the experts say this as well. It's better to get the fruits and vegetables into your body, even if they're not organic, because they're still beneficial.
Oh, right. So
Yeah.
in your case, you eliminated, no, you say you didn't eliminate everything. You found out you had eczema, and then you didn't, how long did you take to eliminate eggs? You didn't eliminate everything, right? But it was in moderation, your eggs, your
Yes.
gluten, and your dairy.
Well, I eliminated gluten a long time ago, mostly, um, and dairy as well. I've had those out of my diet for the most part for years. Now I have had some of those foods because I found substitutions.
Right.
But with eggs, I actually didn't even know about eggs until fairly recently.
Ah,
So yeah, so I'm just kind of starting to, you know, grab onto that idea as well. So oh my gosh, another thing. Oh,
yes, yes,
you know.
but with dairy, gluten, there's a lot of processing, so I can understand where that came from. But what about eggs? I always
It,
think, as long, this is my mindset, as long as it appears in nature as it is, then I will
yes,
eat it, right?
right.
Um,
Yeah,
and eggs
and
is one
that
of, yeah.
I know, and that's kind of what I thought as well. But uh, and unfortunately, it's just because it's a food that feeds the virus for
Ah,
whatever reason.
right, right, right,
Yeah,
right. And you abstain from all these other foods, and how long did it take for your body to heal then?
it took about 3 months.
About 3 months.
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's very fast.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. So if somebody can, it's going to be easier for somebody because some people, because they've already started to, live this healthier way and to remove some of these things from their diet. But if somebody's just starting, I forget. Sorry, I lost my point there. Sorry.
No, 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 it's fine. I tell you, it's the eggs, and then it kind of gives me a shock too. Seriously.
um, sorry, what I was going to say was if somebody can completely remove those foods from your diet for 90 days,
Right.
you're on the healing path. You will eliminate eczema.
And then if you start eating those foods again, it comes back.
Well, so this is it's so very confusing and so very difficult because it can come back. Absolutely. If it's that easy to get the virus, it can certainly come back.
Right. So what we're doing here is after 90 days, we're eliminating the virus so that we do not have all the skin issues. But yes, if it affects 9 out of 10 people, then yes, it can
Right.
certainly come back.
And
Yes.
the other thing is that I think, maybe people wouldn't think of this, but it's, well, and I haven't said this yet, actually, is the Epstein-Barr virus can be contracted when, like a baby can get it at birth if the mother has it.
Yes, I was about to ask
And
you
then,
that question. Yes, because
yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it also can be contracted through infected blood, and can be even contracted through saliva.
Oh.
So if you have eczema and you do all of the work, you do everything that I've explained here, well, your partner might have the Epstein-Barr virus and they're
Mm-hmm.
just going to give it back to you,
Mm.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's nearly impossible. So you know I would say if you can try to do your best to eliminate all of these things, for 3 months to give your body the best chance to heal. And then if you want to incorporate them back into your diet moderately, then you should be able to do that without a problem. Because like I
Mm.
said, now that I've healed, I healed eczema a long time ago, but since I've healed, I've been able to reintroduce some of those foods back into my diet. And also in, like I said, in moderation, but I also eat better foods. So I try to find, well, for example, I still have wheat, which has gluten. I still have, or I have that again in my diet, but in a different way. So I have, now what I eat is sprouted wheat, and it's a lot better for you. It's a lot easier to digest, and it has a lot of fiber. So that I find it really helpful in my diet. So, and everybody is different. So you just have to kind of see how you feel, what works for you, what doesn't, and what you want to try, and what you can't, I guess, maybe. But like I said, it's very challenging. But
This is so interesting because whenever somebody has eczema and they go to the doctors don't bring up this testing, do they?
no, absolutely not.
And and why?
Go ahead.
Yeah, why
I,
why
I
why
was
not?
going to say a lot of doctors, like just medical doctors don't know about these things. So, and I've heard before that I've read this actually a few times, that medical doctors aren't taught much about nutrition, and it's just insane because food and
Oh,
you can just about heal anything with food and supplements, and the right supplements.
I agree.
So
Yes.
yeah, and unfortunately they don't know about that, but the doctors that do know about it are naturopaths and functional medicine doctors. So
Mm-hmm.
they're doctors that look at the root cause of the problem instead of covering it up with bandages, which is medication.
Mm-hmm.
And they look at the root, and they look at, okay, how can we heal this, what supplements can you take to heal, and what foods can you put into your diet, and what foods can you remove from your diet, and they look at all of this. And
Did
that's
you
really
Okay,
important.
yeah. Did you go to a naturopath to help you, or you were just doing your own research and trying to find your own way?
Yeah, no, actually, yeah, I did forget to say that. Yeah, that is one of the things that I did. Absolutely. I went to see a naturopath. Yes.
Right.
And she kind of helped set me on the right path. She helped me with how to do an elimination diet. And, um, she helped me with a lot of things. So that is one thing that I did a long time ago, was an elimination diet. And that can be very challenging too, but there are alternatives to an elimination diet. So these are the foods that you need to remove for eczema. But if you also want to see, what kind of foods am I intolerant to, what kind of foods am I sensitive to, and you can have testing done. So another doctor that I went to see um, was, no, I can't remember what kind of doctor it was now. um, oh shoot.
Is it an
Any
allergist or some sort like that?
No. Oh my goodness, it's completely escaped my mind. Oh shoot.
they,
Sorry.
they do allergy testing or
No, they have the ones that have the needles, and they put them on your skin.
yes, the
What are they
allergist.
called?
Aren't they called
No,
allergist or
no, it wasn't an allergist. Oh my
um
goodness, I can't believe I forget.
uh an
Oh my goodness.
immunologist?
No, no,
No.
it's okay. Sorry. It doesn't matter really what kind of doctor. I guess I wish I could tell you, but
Right.
the point I was trying to make anyway was that they gave me a test called a meridian stress assessment, and there are other names for it. It can
Okay.
also be called a biomeridian stress testing. Have you heard of this?
No, not at all.
No? Okay, well, all they do is they take a little instrument. It's like a little metal pen, but it has a round end on it, and they
Mm-hmm.
put it on rub it on your along your hands, sometimes along your feet,
Mm-hmm.
and they can tell you what foods are stressing your body,
Oh,
and
that's so
yeah, what
interesting.
it is very interesting. It's really very helpful. They can tell you what nutrients are missing from your body, what vitamins and minerals are missing from your body. And also, they can tell you which of your organs are stressed. And I remember now I had a lot of stress in my body. I went for two of these tests, and the basically my first test had a lot of red on it. And then my second test, I think it was actually 6 months later. It wasn't 3 months, it was 6 months. Well, I'm sorry, I should say I did heal eczema in 3 months, but the test I had done was in 6 months. And so I had a lot less red on that test. So it was doing a lot better. But one of the organs that was stressed was my liver and also my spleen. And your spleen removes toxins from your body as well. Yeah.
And because of all the load in your body, it wasn't removing as efficiently as it could have been, and
Absolutely.
therefore it comes out as eczema and all that.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting because every time I hear people with eczema talk about things, they always say that they're allergic to a certain food. It wasn't that, and it always implies there's a kind of immune response going on in the body, right?
Yes.
But it's not really that then, if it's from the virus itself.
Right. Well, you still get an immune response. Your body is still reacting to the food because you do get an intolerance to certain foods once you have, you have all of these issues and you have ammonia permeability that I talked about earlier. So then you're eating these foods and your body is reacting to those foods. But once you do all of this work, you will heal all that. You will heal the food intolerances and sensitivities, and you will heal you can build up your stomach acid. That's really easy to do, actually. You can do that with celery juice. Celery juice is, if I can recommend anything to anybody listening, celery juice is it.
Like sour juice?
Celery juice?
Oh, celery juice. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I was like, sour juice? Wow.
My goodness.
Is it anything that's sour? Okay, no. Celery juice.
I was probably saying it so quickly. Yeah, sorry. Celery juice.
Celery juice, okay.
Yeah, celery juice is amazing for eczema. Celery juice will do so many wonderful things for eczema. If you only did that, well, I'd love for you to do everything, but if you could only incorporate that, that would be my number one, healthy habit to tell you to incorporate into your life, into your daily life.
And you will drink it every day?
I don't drink it every day. I actually just started to do this.
Okay.
So I just started celery juice probably a week ago. And then I took a couple of days and I had some lemons that were going bad. So I decided to make some fresh lemonade. And so I had that instead. And lemons are also, they tell you about lemon water, right? Lemon water is also very helpful for increasing your stomach acid. But celery juice does much more than that. Celery juice increases your stomach acid. It helps to build good bacteria. It helps to build digestive enzymes to help with, so those two things help with better digestion. It's just, there are so many more things. It's just amazing.
And how would you do this celery juice? Because I'm thinking of, I'm not a huge fan of celery. So
okay.
Do I add honey? Do I add, what is it,
And I'll tell you something about that in a second. But the way you would do it is, it's just straight up celery. So if you have a juicer, that's great. You take a stalk of celery, you put it in your juicer, and you drink it straight down. And it's best if you can drink it on an empty stomach. So right first thing in the morning, because it will help your digestion for the rest of the day.
Right.
So yeah, if you can drink it first thing, you drink it straight down with nothing added. That's definitely the best way to take it. That's how it works. It's magic the best.
You don't even add water? Nothing.
No, don't add anything to it. I know. It's not that bad. It's mild. I like celery anyway, but it's, I know I was so tempted. I just want to add a little bit of salt, or can I just add a little bit of lemon or something,
Yes, something else.
Yes, and you could, if you really cannot stand celery, add a little bit of lemon juice, fresh lemon juice. And, you can even add a little bit of green apple if you like. That's a great combination. Or even cucumber. Those are really great foods that you can add. Very healing as well. So if you can't do the celery juice, I know my husband hates celery. And I've been getting him to drink celery juice in the morning because he has some issues we're trying to deal with as well.
Okay.
But yeah, he hates it, but he's doing it because, you know, he loves me and
Oh, that's so nice. I need to let my husband hear this to get him to drink some
Yes,
celery juice.
absolutely.
Uh,
But, you know, he says it tastes like grass.
that's okay.
But
That's actually okay.
yeah, but he drinks it. He just drinks it fast, and it's gone, and he's done with it. And it's he's going to be amazed at what it does for him. So
Right.
yeah.
And what about wheatgrass?
Oh yeah,
Because you talk
wheatgrass
about
is
grass and then it comes to mind.
yeah.
Wheatgrass.
You know, wheatgrass is very healing as well. I don't know as much about that, but there is a barley juice powder.
Huh.
Yeah, green barley juice. I think I have that right. Barley juice powder, and that helps to remove heavy metals from your body as well. There are lots of foods. Wild blueberries is also really amazing for removing heavy metals from your body.
Mm.
And yeah, there still are others, but those are a couple that are really great. I was going to say also, yeah, if you didn't like the celery juice, you could have the lemon water every morning instead on an empty stomach,
Okay.
because that helps to build your stomach acid as well. So
You know,
yeah.
I've done this before. Whole lemon,
Yeah.
and you juice it, all of it together, and then I add in a little bit of honey, water, and then I
Mm-hmm.
just drink it together with, and I love that.
Yes.
Although
Oh
it's really
yeah.
sour. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that too. Like I said, I made some of that a few days ago. We had that instead for a couple of days just to kind of break it up a little bit, you know, give my husband a break.
Your husband, yes, yes, he would be thankful for that.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm wondering about the barley juice powder. Is it white in color?
I believe I haven't actually tried it yet because this is something I've just learned recently as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's green. I think it's yeah, I think it's green.
Green, huh? No, because over here we do boil these barley in water, and then
Oh,
I mean it's just white barley after you boil it, and then you will drink the
okay.
water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
it's more like we have a concept here that our body is too heaty, or it's too,
Yeah.
you know that, right? Okay. So the barley is supposed to be cooling. So if, let's say, you're
Okay.
feeling sickly, and you've been eating a lot of fried foods and chili, which is prevalent around here, so you would take barley
Okay.
to cool it
Huh.
down.
Oh wow.
So I'm
Okay.
wondering if it's the
Interesting.
same barley.
No, it's not. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure it's not the same. No.
Okay.
No. I mean, but you can find it on Amazon.
Right.
Yeah.
So you do a course now on eczema and food?
Yes, I have a masterclass. It basically it talks about everything I've talked about here, which I kind of feel was a bit all over the place because I was just kind of jumping in with there's
No,
just so much, right, to tell you. No, okay,
I
good.
don't think it's all over the place. Like we
Okay.
said, right? It's related. It may seem all over
Yes,
the place, but at the same time, you cannot talk about one without talking about the other thing, right?
absolutely.
And the reason I wanted to hear you talk about eczema, because a lot of times is very much exacerbated by stress,
Yes.
and sometimes you may not feel so, but when the situation is stressful in your life right now, it comes up, and
Yes.
then this would answer very well on why small children get it. These little babies that come out, and why do they have
Yes.
eczema?
Hmm.
That's a yes, this is so enlightening in that sense, because I have some friends with babies who are going through quite bad eczema.
Okay. Yeah. Uh, you know, it's also it's all I think it's also kind of exciting because to know that you can heal it just with food and supplements. Like
Yes,
how great is that, right? It's
yes,
just
yes.
amazing.
You don't
And
have to go
zinc,
under the knife.
no, yeah, no, absolutely not. Yeah.
Or your skin, yes.
Zinc is a really helpful supplement for eczema as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Most people are deficient in zinc, But especially for eczema, zinc helps to, this is among other things, but zinc helps to increase your immune system, but it also is very healing for the skin. It's so important to make sure you have enough zinc.
And you would take it as like a supplement pill, or would you, there's zinc oil as well, right? Is there a zinc topical application? No.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure, but you would take it as a supplement.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably, I would say that's the best way to take it, because most people are so deficient, especially if you have eczema.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But
yes.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, so my master class is called 5 Steps to Heal Eczema in 90 Days or Less. And we would go through all of these steps and, you know, in a more of an orderly fashion, maybe.
Yes,
that's kind of what I meant earlier, was I felt like I was kind of all over the place with, you know, it wasn't just step 1, step 2. It was a bit, but this will be a more an easier way to show you how to do the steps. I'll give you more information, and I'm also in that going to tell you, well, how do you reverse that? You know, what steps do you need to take to heal eczema? So these are the steps that cause eczema, but how do you reverse it? What do you do now? So, and I'll help you with that in my masterclass.
That is so exciting. So for people who have eczema right now, the first thing they should they go to check do some blood work to check for Epstein-Barr, or no? Do you recommend that?
No, because since it doesn't get into your bloodstream, you can't.
Yes,
there is no testing for it.
Oh, yeah, no testing for it. Okay.
No, unfortunately. Hopefully someday there will be, but right now there isn't.
I see.
So, yeah. So basically, if you have eczema, you just assume that you have the Epstein-Barr virus, and that you need to get rid of it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So that would be good for people with eczema. That would really help a lot of people. And Kenda would go through with you step by step on how to heal through food. I think that is so exciting.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
I love it.
Yes. So where can people find you, Kenda? Your handle, your Instagram handle, your Facebook handles?
Right. So on Facebook, you can find me at it's facebook.com, how to detox your life. And on Instagram, it's how.to.detox your life.
Thank you so much, Kenda. Thank you so much to our audience for listening in. And this is the Happy Frank podcast, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care.
Thank you,